South Carolina serial killer Todd Kohlhepp says there are more victims whose bodies haven't been discovered. A South Carolina man convicted of killing 7 people says he has more victims who have not been found. In an 8-page letter to the Herald-Journal of Spartanburg, Todd Kohlhepp wrote that he tried to tell investigators and informed the FBI but said it was blown off. "At this point, I really don't see reason to give numbers or locations," he wrote. Don Wood, Chief Division Counsel with the FBI's Columbia office, said the agency has a pending investigation, but wouldn't comment specifically on what the FBI is doing. The 46-year-old pleaded guilty in May to 7 counts of murder for killings that took place over more than a decade, all as he ran a real estate business. He was sentenced to life in prison. The killer's crimes came to light when authorities searching for missing woman Calla Brown, 30, tracked her cell phone to one of Kohlhepp's properties in November 2016. Cops heard Brown's screams and banging inside a heavily padlocked metal shipping container, and found her sitting inside with a chain around her neck connected to the wall. She told police that she watched Kohlhepp shoot and bury her boyfriend Charlie Carver, 32, and said he raped her twice a day, every day, while holding her captive for 2 months. And in September Kohlhepp preposterously claims that Brown wasn't raped and that he was actually trying to help her. "She was in the shipping container because I didn't want to hurt her, refused to turn her over to someone else who would, and was buying time while I figured out a way to resolve this non-violently," he claimed in the twisted jailhouse letter to New York Post reporter Mel Corcalicia. Kohlhepp bizarrely claimed that, far from being his victim, Brown was as big a criminal as I am. "All of my victims were criminals," he went on. "No one wants to really look at who they were, families, connections. Not that it makes it right. I was wrong to do what I did," he then wrote, in his only hint of remorse for the vile crimes. In addition to killing Carver, Kohlhepp has admitted to 6 other slayings, a quadruple homicide at a motorcycle dealership in 2003, and the murder of a husband and wife who were lured to his property very similarly to Brown and her boyfriend. His letter made no specific mention of Johnny Joe Coxey, 29, and Megan Lee McCraw Coxey, 26, the married couple he shot and buried on his property in 2015. Kohlhepp killed Coxey immediately and tried to keep McCraw Coxey locked away, but he said he killed her after several days because she tried to burn the container after he gave her cigarettes. Investigators discovered an arsenal of weapons inside Kohlhepp's home after his arrest, which they suspect he obtained illicitly due to a 1987 felony conviction for kidnapping in Arizona that it's illegal for him to purchase or own firearms. Photos from the sick killer's home show weapons stashed around the property in toolboxes, drawers and shelves for easy access. Among the many weapons confiscated were a Barrett Model 83A1 semi-automatic .50 caliber rifle and a Beretta Model 92 semi-automatic pistol with an Ultima 9mm sound suppressor. "He had more ammo than some of my counterparts in other counties do in their whole departments," Spartanburg County Sheriff Chuck Wright said. Authorities earlier revealed Kohlhepp bragged in one video about wearing gloves when loading his gun to assure no fingerprints were on the casings. He also told authorities he pulled the gun apart and threw the components into different trash bins, putting the barrel into a bag of used kitty litter. Even though it had been 13 years, Kohlhepp detailed each shot he fired at the Superbike shop in the quadruple murder, including final shots to the forehead of 30-year-old Scott Ponder, 52-year-old Beverly Guy, 30-year-old Brian Lucas, and 26-year-old Chris Sherbert. Kohlhepp moved to South Carolina in 2001 after 14 years in prison for a kidnapping in Arizona. Authorities there said the then 15-year-old Kohlhepp forced a 14-year-old neighbor back to his home at gunpoint, tied her up and raped her.